Matthew Foss joins me now. He's with the Ministry of Energy in Alberta, Canada. Thanks so much for taking the time. Now, we've just been listening to a very, very detailed discussion there, really on the dilemma, really, in the oil market at the moment. What are the feelings of all of the people in attendance?
I think real expectations that this is going to get better, but what the mechanism for doing that is still remains very unclear. But, a lot of expectations probably in this part of the world that North American production was going to respond quickly to low prices, and realization that that's not necessarily going to happen.
Indeed, so the huge challenges now, but it's also, we've seen that the energy, the players and the smaller players, some of them too, have been very resilient. They've introduced a lot of efficiencies, particularly in the non-conventional space, and they've also shown, I think, how nimble they can be in hard times. So we're going to see more production coming out.
Yes, well, we've got a tale of two different types of resources. Certainly on the unconventional light tight oil in North America, we're already starting to see that start to decline off a little bit as the activity and investment levels have dropped off on it. On the other side, the resources like the oil sands coming out of Alberta, Canada, we're still seeing growth out of that, but then that's largely on investments that were started years ago that are just coming into production now, and 2 to 3 years from now, much of that will have run its course until prices start to trickle up again.
Sometimes a lot of people in the industry talking about the new norm in terms of the oil price environment. And again, part of this discussion, is this, what we've got to get used to, or is it just part of a cycle? I mean, what was the feeling?
I think much of the realization is that this is both. We've got a cycle going on here, but also there is a reset that's happening with respect to years of $100 plus oil, recognizing that that's not necessarily needed to balance the marketplace. There's certainly supply that's available at lower costs than $100 per barrel, but it does take time for that to work into responding to the price. And so now we'll just see into the future as to how long that cycle time really takes, and what bets people are willing to make with respect to when this turns over, and how long the next upswing lasts.
Of course, a lot of investment has been taken off the market, and indeed in Canada as well, and many of the players, disappeared really. Business, has gone bust for quite a few people here. But how is the climate in general, the economic climate in Canada right now, particularly for the major oil players and the smaller ones?
Well, certainly it is significantly less optimistic than it was a few years ago, and we've certainly seen a significant drop in our investment levels, probably down a third from where they were a year or two ago. But still, I think the envy of a lot of places in the world in terms of the amount of investment that still remains in there. And so I think we're still quite optimistic that has a future.
Now here at this event here, the thought leaders that are gathered here, people from government like yourself, a lot of players from the industry, corporations, a great diverse mix here. How important is this, particularly this is the second Thought Leader Roundtable, and what are you finding from it, the value of this?
Events like this are just so valuable, particularly in times of uncertainty like this, when we have a significant structural change overlaid with a cyclical change, and trying to get everybody's still trying to get their understanding of what is happening, and events like this provide that forum for smart minds to come together and discuss this and come to a better grasp of what the real underlying questions need to be researched.